worked out perfectly anyway. YouTube probably didn't need to hear
Right.
certain plans. Okay, so all right, you got it, man.
I'm host again? Or?
Yep.
Okay. Cool. So since we already got so many trades pending, is there anything you guys want me to look at? Because I think we got enough trades for now. Gotta wait these out. Nothing you guys been looking at the last day or so?
No, but I got a question.
Yeah.
So I guess like I have trouble I guess knowing when to get in for a retracement. So I was wondering like so say there's a big momentum candle, when do you look into like, all right, I'm playing this for the retrace?
Okay. So let's I might be able to use USD Jappy for this exam. So yesterday, mind you, you guys know by now that the market's on a different, time schedule than we are. So when I say yesterday, it doesn't mean in the literal sense, because this technically was yesterday, even though this is still today. This candle closed at 5 p.m. This was yesterday's 5 p.m. So like yesterday's 5 p.m. we had an MC. Okay. And so your question is like, if I were to see this MC close right at 5 p.m., what do I do? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me go down. All right, so like when we first looked at it, or when I first looked at it, I think it had kind of consolidated across here or something. I don't really remember entirely, but if I saw that, when I saw that momentum, I'm already thinking in that direction. I just needed more confirmation. So like if I drop down to like the 4 hour, I see that I have some moments. I have a MW here. So that's kind of like a second bias. All right. And then in terms of like getting my entry, you only want to look for a tipping point. So like, do you have Forex Fortune Factory or?
Yeah, I have it.
Okay. So you want to look for your tipping point. So like in this case, it didn't have the most gorgeous looking tipping points ever because they were so far away. So I used, I think it was like the 15-minute to create this little tipping point here of them throwing these wicks here. And that's why we have our sell stop just below the tipping point. Now, after I've got my tipping point set, I still want to make sure that there's no traffic really. So like, the way that you look for traffic is you're still looking for tipping points. Like if there's going to be any more tipping points here within these areas, you want to know about them. So like, for example, maybe this is an interest to you. Oops. Like these wicks might be an interest to you. So like you might want to consider like, okay, for my entry, and I see that, all right, I've got my green tipping point here, and then I see that there's some traffic up ahead. How does that affect my entry? How does that affect my trade? How does that affect what my objective is? Like, I think the the issue sometimes people fall into, or a bad habit that sometimes people fall into, is trying to like make the market do certain things when you don't have to make the market do anything. You just have to like position yourself for the market, if that makes sense. So like, I'm trying to make sense here. I'm sorry, guys. Like, all right, we know that we had the MC on the daily. We know that we have an MW on the 4-hour. That's all the bias that we need to be like, all right, well, this might be a short. Okay. And all we have to do is just position ourselves to be in, to be ready for that short. So like, am I making sense at all? Or
Yeah, you are.
okay, because I feel like I'm reading here,
I got you.
it makes sense in my head, but I'm like trying to like get to the point here. So like, so essentially, if we know that we've got the retrace coming, we know that we've got the MW coming, all we have to do is just find a solid little tipping point to position ourselves with. Like outside of that, you're probably overthinking, like if you're thinking past that, chances are you're overthinking. So like, set your order just below it. If there's no other traffic, then all you have to do is just allow the market to come to you. So I don't know if that answers the question directly, but I was trying to like answer it in a way where like you have more of like a thinking process more than like oh, this is what you do, because like every scenario is going to be different. So like this USD Jappy trade, it's going to be completely different than, what was it? What trade was it? Euro.
The GBP AUD.
The Euro AUD.
Euro, okay.
Yeah, like this Euro AUD, it's got this big ass tipping point, right? So we looked at it a little differently. Like we're like, okay, like we know that there's momentum to the downside from, this wasn't an MC, but it was an MW, I believe, right? Yeah, MW. So like in this case, we're hoping for them to go short. So all we have to do is say, hey, where's the tipping point? And if they end up hitting that tipping point, perfect. And like outside of that, bro, you don't even have to think anymore. I promise you. You don't have to think anymore. Yeah. I hope that answered your question. I don't want to sound stupid.
Yeah, it does.
Did everybody else understand that?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to tell me I sounded silly. Trust me. I won't get offended. I know I was a little all over the place there, but I was trying to like give them a good answer, not a, oh, this is what you do. So when's the 4-hour close? Another hour and a half. So what could be nice is if since they already kind of started creating kind of some lows, it'd be nice if they use this 4-hour to leave a wick. It's impulsive right now, which lets me know they could. But at the same time, if they were to close it as an MC, then chances are we might be dealing with the trap. Like if they kept pushing this up just a little bit higher and they close like this in the next hour and a half, they might retrace to go ahead and do the 50%, but it might start hanging out above and then doing what we were talking about earlier, and then mess up our trade for this week, and we'd have to reset it to go into next week. But hopefully what they end up doing is leaving this with a wick, closing below this black line. Anywhere below that black line is ideal because they already closed this below the black line. So like this would just make for like another low. So it would be kind of like more of a slope at that point, even though they've thrown the wick above. That makes sense. They would have been creating higher lows here in this direction. And then all we had to do is just wait for them to make the move. So ideally they close this with the MW. This 4 hour. That'll set us up for the trade to go ahead and make the move tonight. But if not, we start kind of moving into like a little bit more risky territory. Anybody else got any questions or trades they want me to look at?
No, I'm pretty good.
It's really just waiting game right now.
What about anybody got any questions about the psychology part of it, like just the thinking part of it, because that's a whole factor too.
This is true.
Like watching it do that stuff and thinking like he's saying, like they'll throw that momentum candle and have you thinking they going the other way, and by the time you look back, snatch it all the way back down. I know most of y'all probably know that by now, but just anything like that psychological that may be messing with you or whatever.
I got another question. So Nemo, I've seen like you've posted, for example, you get into drawdown and then you put another position to like, you catch a better position basically.
Double.
And I've seen like you still hold down even though you're on drawdown. So when do you, I guess, decide to cut your losses? Like,
Okay, so the opposite. So
yeah. So like say you're not feeding that trade anymore and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna cut it off instead of like maybe looking for another position to add.
Yeah. So normally I'll cut my losses if I get like just a massive directional candle in the opposite direction of what I was already anticipating. It's rare, but it does happen. I'll get caught every now and then where that'll happen to me. I'll say probably 10-15% of the time it'll happen. Where like I'll have a nice directional candle, I'll have my nice bias, I'll take the trade, I'll start going into some drawdown, and then the market will just completely give me an entirely different directional candle in the opposite direction. That's when I'll normally close. But outside of that, like I normally hold until the wheels fall off. And that's just because like I'm very, very good with risk management. I think I've kind of built up a really good muscle about, feeling the market. But I would say like the only rule I really have to like closing a trade against all odds is when I get a really bad directional candle in the opposite direction. So like, for example, if we were already in this trade and you know, they close this with a giant MW, you know, going to the opposite side, I might be like, hey, let's go ahead and close this, or like let's close half of it. Or if they break a certain point, you know, let's go ahead and close it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying now? Like kind of play into that.
Okay.
Or like, for example, we got this wick here. So like I might be like, all right, if they break this tipping point, then I'll close, because we know tipping points, it means momentum tips. So we don't want that momentum to tip against us. So I might be like, all right, I'm gonna give them wiggle room to do whatever the hell they're doing, set their traps or grab their liquidity or whatever. But if they break that tipping point, I'm going to close. But if they don't, if they're just throwing wicks above it, or, you know, a little smaller time frame closes above it, I'm not going to trip off of it. But if they're giving me big, you know, directional candles on the higher time frames, they break the tipping point, stuff like that, that's when I'm like, all right, let me get on my defense and start protecting my capital.
Okay.
Yeah, so tipping points, directional candles, they're like your best friend. Use them for everything. God, I can't believe we're about to be in February already.
Here's a good question right here. For those who may not, you hit up on something yesterday about, you know. Go ahead. Somebody was saying something.
No, you got it, bro.
Oh, okay. I was saying you hit up on something yesterday that I think would be good to touch up on, like for a minute or two, about when you see dead momentum, because I know sometimes it's easy to get caught up in looking at like say you see like that momentum candle, right? And you think, oh, automatically boom boom boom, and you don't look for like if it's really truly momentum around. Um, I hope I'm making sense here, you know, so you don't get caught in a hung trade where you just like, you know, kind of sticking around and you know what I'm talking about, like what we talked about yesterday, like your first thought on GBP AUD.
Let me pull it up. I don't remember exactly. I swear I can't remember nothing nowadays. If it wasn't 5 minutes ago.
I already know.
Let me look the.
It was on a daily when you first saw it. You was like, I don't like the momentum behind it.
I'm trying to remember.
It was kind of at a first glance thing, and then you had to kind of look it over, and you was like, you know what, I probably would take this. Let's take it. But it just made me think, you know, to think about a situation like that, because that's like it's like a step in between the steps. You know, find a momentum candle, but like make sure it's truly momentum around it too. You know, I guess, or the directional candle. I'm sorry.
So, I mean, one thing that maybe applies to what you're trying to say is what I was talking about earlier on UJ. And I was saying I don't like when it's the slow or something like that. I was like, it gives them room for reversal.
Okay. It's the same, it's a different scenario, but same behavior. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think what you're trying to say is just making sure that like like our best friend with this strategy is momentum. You know, I put it in the training and I say it a million times. Like the one thing that like I don't want any of you guys to stress yourself out about, and traders all around the world love to do it, but you know, it's just no point to stress yourself out about the timing of the trade. However, if we can find these pockets of momentum, we should be fairly accurate. Like even to me, accuracy is like 1 to 3 days. Like if it takes 1 to 3 days to play out, I'm cool with that. That's still accurate to me. A lot of people don't see it that way. You know, like a lot of people see it as like, all right, if it hasn't played out by the evening, then or if it hasn't played out in an hour, then it's a L. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, I don't see it that way. I'm gonna be relaxed about my trading. I'm not gonna stress myself out. So I think what you're trying to say is just like making sure like you're finding you're worried less about the timing and you're more so concerned about just finding those pockets of momentum and making sure that like you're aligning yourself with real momentum, not like the fake momentum that you know the market can pull every now and then, right? Or
Exactly. Yeah. No, that's you worded it perfectly. That's it. Yeah,
okay.
that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean like, you know, I mean just to kind of put a little bit more on it, I guess that is don't beat yourself up about timing. If anything, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but like the timing is like the most, you know, irrelevant part of it all. It's more so just like the momentum behind it. Like if you're aligning yourself with good momentum, like I would say we've got on USD Jappy, you know, we've got momentum here, we've got the momentum on the higher time frames, so on and so forth. What they're doing right now is none of our concern. Okay. Like it's not our job to stress about them pushing to the high side right now. If anything, this could leave with a wick and we'll be happy. By the time it closes, the 4 hour, by the time it closes, you know, at what, 9 o'clock, it could be a fat wick. And we'll have all the momentum we need to go ahead and push to the downside. But yeah.
Dope.
So yeah, they're right at the top. Shit.
What's going on the hour? Oh, yeah, you already said beat you to it.
Yeah, I want to see how they close this damn thing because
How many minutes is that left? 20 something.
24-ish.
Yeah, that looked like they pushing up before the snatch down.
Yeah. I just wish I didn't realize it was end of the month until right before the session. My girl asked me, she asked me what day it was. And I was like, shit, we're already about to be in February.
Yeah.
But this is like a really high probability trade, guys. Like if this were any other day, I would close the platform and walk away and just let it play out.
My check.
You're breaking up, bro. What'd you say? Darius, that was you talking, right?
Yeah.
Still breaking up, bro.
Can you hear me better now?
A little bit. God, I kind of want to take this at the top now. Check. Yeah. Let's see something. Yeah, I think we might sell this off earlier than the 83.5 because it's set up for us a little bit better now. Let's change this to 90, 57.90.
Yeah, I was just looking at that too.
If you want, you could do 89 if you're feeling uncomfortable about it. So then if it does move in the direction that we're anticipating, not only will we get this full move, it's not a lot, but if they hit the top and then didn't break, we'll still be able to grab at least our 9-10 pips. This is crazy. God, I hope they leave this wick. I'll be so happy, man. Because nothing makes me more mad than a good trade that's just bad timing. When you know probabilities are on your side. And it's just bad timing. I feel like this was the fastest war room session ever. It's like 2 hours that quick. Pepperstone. I met those guys. The Pepperstone guys.
You said you met him?
Yeah, I met them in Hong Kong. They seem to run a clean shop. I haven't traded with them yet, though.
What we looking, man? Hold on.
The few minutes that we got, you guys want me to look at anything? You guys already switched the sell stop to 57.90, right?
Yeah.
No, it's been a good week. It's been a good week full of good action. So
Yeah, man. Like I said, I honestly, I would go to sleep with a fat smile on my face tonight if it weren't the last week of the month. That's it. And it's not that like anything bad is happening. It's just, you know, I've seen them take much longer than they should just because of the time of the month, you know. Someone said Robin Hood is robbing the hood.
Hey, that's funny, boy.
Oh,
So
God.
accurate. So accurate.
Robin Hood's robbing the hood. Damn. Shit, the way the momentum is looking on this Euro AUD, they might open the spread up a little bit. Let me actually look. What's you guys' spread right now on Euro AUD?
Let me see.
Mine's is fluctuating between 2.6 and 3. So that's actually
On it too.
Mine's at 117. So 17.
yeah. Who you with?
It's Nash Markets.
Nash Markets.
Yeah.
Not her. Yeah, normally when you see you see how they're fluctuating like this. I mean, it's the 15-minute, but you see how they're fluctuating.
Yeah.
Normally they can open up the spread when you see behavior like that. So they could open this up any moment.
Yeah, the spread is jumping on mine too, though.
Yeah.
Going from like 10 to 20.
Yeah, I think they might end up opening this up here soon. But let's see how this hourly candle closes. Be nice if they closed. If we wanted our sell, be nice if they closed right around the top of this red box. And like nowhere else besides there. Just because of that would be a continuation candle instead of an MC or MW. And then we can get possibly the continuation and the downside that we want. For the newbies, like when I say stuff like this, like it's not me hoping or wishing. It's more so, if anything, hoping or wishing for them to give us the momentum that we're actually looking for. So like if they were to close just like this is a continuation thing. However, if they were to go a little bit higher than that, it would end up being an MW. Or if they were to go a little bit further than that, it would be an MC. So it like changes the scenario of the trade based on how they're fluctuating. So like, even though we have our bias, we want them to do certain things so that we can go ahead and get the trade over with. It's not so much like guessing about the bias. It's more so guessing, hopefully, that we get the momentum and timing that we're looking for, because that's the hardest part about everything, the timing. They opened me up. So I don't know if you guys got activated too. Like perfect right there. Continuation candle.
Perfecto.
Yeah, they're definitely widening the spread, I think. Let's see.
And they could turn that into a double, where they put the impulse up and then impulse back down.
On UJ?
Yeah.
I just don't want them to break the wick.
Oh yeah, close. Yeah, close on it. At
Yeah,
least they coming down. That's a good sign. They already coming down.
right. I mean, on UJ, like it's more so the 4 hour that I'm concerned about. You know, we still got some time for that, but as long as they're below this wick, I think we still got a good shot at moving it.
Yeah.
See, like, all right, like yes, we're in profit right now, but like it's actually more preferred that they go ahead and just shoot the fuck down instead of closing like this. That makes
Yeah,
more
it gives
sense.
too much time to play
Because
around.
then, yeah, it gives them opportunity to reverse up and come back up
Mm-hmm.
here and all that stuff. Like I'd rather them just go ahead and get the damn thing over with in a perfect world. But we might be able to grab at least our 10 pips, 10 pip minimum before this candle closes. Hopefully, let's see. And then we got a nice little wick forming on UJ. So hopefully that. I mean, but the thing about, like I said, with UJ, the 4 hours is going to really be our indicator. Because like even if they close this with a wick, they could go back up for the hour and then close it back down with a wick for the next hour when the 4 hour candle closes. Yeah, just get it over with. Minute left. This will still be a continuation candle. That wouldn't be.
No funds were good.
See, this is what I was afraid of.
Hey, they closed within that tipping point that we would have made, so within that 15 tipping point. So I wonder, as long as they stay below that, like on that green, go to you see the red candle with that whipsaw, basically the bottom of that whipsaw.
Uh-huh. Here?
Oh, never mind, they breaking it, I guess. That one, yeah. Like if you stretch it out, I mean, you got the other wick next to it, but I wonder if they keep closing around that, I wonder if it's good news still, or positive news. When you say not so good, positive.
Yeah, it wasn't the best close, but we still have the higher time frame momentum on our side. So I don't think it's worth taking an L or anything. But, you know, I may, depending on how things are looking, I don't know what time you guys are going to go to bed, but, you know, I might, you know, I try to go to bed before midnight. So if I'm up 11, 12, and if I see they're still playing games, I might tell us to go ahead and close and just get ready for next week. But we shall see. Wait till y'all see what I'm about to post in the chat, and then we got. I am dead.
Yeah, that shit is hilarious.
Did y'all see that they were pushing up Dogecoin now?
Yeah.
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 I think a couple people in the chat are in it, right?
Yeah, I've been talking about them like months ago. Dogecoin. Yeah. Oh.
All right, y'all. I'll post up updates in the chat. But I mean, so far, like we even though it's likely that they could try to trap, everything still looks really good on our behalf. So for now, let's hold everything. Let's hold steady. Let's not get too antsy. And then I'll post updates going into tonight, later tonight, going into tomorrow morning. But all we can do is wait and see what it goes.
Sounds good.
For sure.
Even Jappy, I mean, they closed right at it. Like, this is the type of I was talking about. As long as they're still closing below, we're good. I don't care about them doing all this. They can do that all they fucking want. If they're not closing up there, I'm not tripping. I think like this 4-hour candle should show us a lot. So definitely make sure you're keeping an eye on it.
Ooh.
Sounds good, bro.
All right, you guys.
Take it easy.
All right. Everyone take care.
Take care.
Peace.